Season 47, War number 1, and we are up against PBT, and this time my team will be Silk, Onslaught and Lady D. I will be taking Path 7 in Section 1, Path 4 in Section 2, Photon, Maestro and Werewolf by night mini-bosses, along with that Silk boss. Now this season we aren't really pushing all that hard, so what that means is that I will not be max boosting for basically any of my fights, and I will get to use some different champions as well as take different matchups this season, which is gonna be interesting and a lot of fun, hopefully. Now, starting off this war, we have a Korg here on the second wind damage reflection, as well as attacker special burst lockdown nodes, and I am taking the fight with Onslaught. Now, this defender here has the recoil masteries on, so the constant poison damage from liquid courage is making this fight faster than it normally should be, but even without that, Onslaught should do this fight just fine. Essentially, I just cannot inflict any debuffs when the rock shield is up, and I will never have to worry about the damage reflection. Korg's damage reflection, or rather his ability to shrug off debuffs here, comes from his Sig ability, so since he is awakened he does have a chance to shrug off debuffs, but that only applies if he has his rock stacks active. So I will be very careful not to throw any specials or parry him while the rock stacks are up, and if I can do that, the fight will go down just fine. Onslaught did melt it quite quickly, but that was largely due to the constant poison damage, as I said. Then next up we have a Dragon Man here on the second wind damage reflection as well as the winded node, and I am taking the fight with Silk. Now, Dragon Man on this node basically does nothing so long as you don't knock him down. If you knock him down, the winded node will inflict an armor break debuff on him, and if he is armor broken, he will degenerate the opposing champion. So here, essentially, just don't knock him down and you will be fine. But I decided Silk should have the damage output, so I went ahead and threw my special 2 here with 1 Fury, and the damage was more than enough to just completely nuke him down. No degen damage taken there, and yeah, I am very happy to be able to actually use my rank 3 Silk in war for once. It's been a couple seasons, and I really missed it. She is amazing for war, and hopefully I'll get to showcase her a lot this season. Now, next up here we have a Hulk on the steady build up unblockable and special burst lockdown nodes, and I'm taking this fight with Silk. Now for this fight, basically I have no way around the debuffs here, so at some point in the fight Hulk will go completely unblockable, but that's completely fine. His animations are easy enough to deal with, and basically the only other defensive ability that Hulk has here is the Unstoppable. Now usually Silk should be able to play around that quite easily with that slow debuff from her Awakened ability, but I mismanaged it there myself, and I actually did get clipped due to the Unstoppable. Luckily Hulk was nice enough to not actually punish me too harshly for it, but I did take a little love tap there. But at this point I got my special 3 off, the fight is over with a couple basic hits, even before I got to actually throw my special 2 there with a couple Furies. Again, fight itself was quite simple and fast as well, no issues whatsoever, and if it was played a little bit better I would have finished the fight at full health as well. Then here we have a steady build up unblockable and painful retreat nodes with a Rintrah on the placement, and I'm taking the fight with Silk once again. Now this fight is quite simple. I just gotta keep knocking Rintrah down over and over again to manage his charges, but one thing that I kind of forgot about here was the 100% increased defensive ability accuracy from the steady build up unblockable node, and the charges here got a little bit out of hand. So yeah, that heavy attack there did not stun him, since I pushed him to 15 charges, and I could have gotten punished for it. But once again, luckily the defender has been nice enough to not actually punish me too harshly for my mistakes, and I did the same thing there again. So far, the fight hasn't gone too well, but still, this is quite a simple fight, and I just decided here to just take the power sting damage, throw the special 2 to finish it out, use a potion, and then just keep on going. I don't wanna dance around in that fight any longer than I needed to. I have had my fill of fighting Rintrahs over the past some seasons. Then next up here we have a Photon on the personal space regeneration and enhanced recovery miniboss node, and I'm taking this fight with Lady D. Now last season I did take this fight and I didn't really want any repeat fights in this war specifically, but since we don't really have any other Lady D players, I figured I should just bite the bullet, take the fight since I am used to it, and just make sure we don't drop any unnecessary deaths here, or even potentially get roadblocked, though I doubt that would happen anyways. Now essentially the game plan here is to just keep Lady D's healblock debuff up at all times to shut down the regen, and then just play around the defense tactic. Now in this specific fight here, the defender did have the liquid courage mastery, which does make this fight a lot faster once again, just as that Korg earlier in the war. The fight is still doable just fine, even if the defender doesn't have it on, but it does help things and make things go a lot smoother than they normally would. Fight goes down, barely any damage taken, and yeah, Lady D is an extremely potent attacker. She's just not the fastest for anything, so I believe that is the main reason she doesn't get as much use as she should be. And now we have a Maestro here on the Hazard Shift, Incinerate and Poison miniboss node, along with the Stun Immunity node, and I am taking the fight with Onslaught. Now, I figured Onslaught should be an excellent option here, because the Incinerate debuffs from the Hazard Shift node will allow me to ramp up those neuroshocks without actually having to throw any special ones here, and then I just gotta bait heavy and punish it with my own to keep the neuroshocks paused, climb up to my special 2, throw it, and the fight should essentially be over at that point. Now Onslaught in general is a great option for many Hazard Shift nodes, because he reduces the potency of any bleed, shock and incinerate effects on himself by 150%, so as you can see here, he's simply just healing back up with willpower from those incinerate debuffs. He doesn't have any protection against the poison here, but that's fine. I am mainly just spamming my heavy attacks anyways, which is only 2 hits every now and then, so the poisons will never stack up enough to become a problem. Now one last thing to note there is that his heavy pause is not affected by glancing or ability accuracy in general, just like most if not all other pause abilities in the game, so that is nothing to worry about against Maestro. And here we have a Werewolf by Night on the Combat Deja Vu Prowess, Conflictor and Prowess Puncture miniboss node, and I am taking the fight with Silk. Now I figured I should just throw in a Grey boost here, since I have another one coming from the Alliance War solo event anyways. Might as well put it to use and see if she can do this fight properly. My game plan is to build up power to my special 3 and then just do the 3 Fury special 2 rotation with the special 3, and the fight should be more than over at that point. Now getting to the special 3 is the main issue here, and here I should have just gone for it. I should have done the full combo into a heavy into a special 3 and I would have been fine, but I tried to just bait the special 2 first. And now, because of that, I am eating a special 3 from this guy, even with some prowess on. And the special 3 does hurt, and it does stun me as well, which is wonderful, but at the very least Silk does reduce the duration of the opponent's rupture effects by quite a bit, so I didn't take as much damage as I could have. Either way, now at this point when I got my special 3 off, the fight is over. I do the usual combo after the special 3, medium light medium, medium medium, light light medium, light heavy, striker, and then continue with some more hits into a heavy, into a special 2. This is too much overkill, to be honest, but it works. And yeah, you don't even need any power back boosts to be able to chain this special 2 there with the 3 Furies, provided you do the combo properly, and I will go over the exact combo in another warfight coming this season. So look forward to that one. And then here we have the final fight of the war, a Silk boss that I will be taking with my own Silk. And as you saw there, I did use some units to heal up, and the reason for that is, well, I wanted to do this boss fight properly for content reasons. Now, essentially my game plan here is to only bait Silk's special 2 and dex it, repeat until she drops dead, and if she happens to use a special 1, I have Silk's auto evade to save me. Now, the evade effects are not supposed to be working during the route. That is a bug with the defense tactic, but it's not getting fixed, so I'm making full use of it here. Now, one thing that Silk kinda suffers from against the boss node is the stun immunity node. That means you can't stack up any of her passive Furies for basically any specials or anything, so you will just have to do with the damage she has without that. Which isn't the worst, I guess, but it's not the best either. You see, if I land crits, she does hit quite hard, but she could be hitting a lot harder, though that is just something I need to deal with if I wanna take any bosses with her going forward. Now, I am doing my best to not even let her a chance to use that special 1. I manage my combo properly, I use my strikers and my specials at the proper times to make sure I just push her to a special 2 before she has an opening to do anything. Now, so far the fight has gone very well, just keep on repeating this over and over, and she should go down without any issues. Special 2 decks may look a little bit difficult, or I guess scary as well, but it's honestly not too bad, and with just a little bit of practice, I'm sure most of you can definitely get it down. Now, here was my main mistake. I didn't look at the evade timer properly, and I threw a special 2 just as the evade came back on the opponent, and she evaded the full thing. Luckily she didn't punish me immediately, but she did follow up with that special 1, and had I not had the evade up myself, or had the defense tactic actually worked properly, I would have been dead right then and there, since I am not comfortable fully dexing it. I did try to go for it there, and I did dex a couple of the hits, but I did get clipped, and I had to get the evade to save me. Same thing there. Now, just another combo into a special, and the fight is over. Well, I guess I didn't even need a special. And yeah, Silk solos a Silk boss. Honestly, a Silk boss isn't too bad if you just ignore the defense tactic and push the special 2 instead, and just dex it. You don't need a tactic champion to deal with it, you don't need any auto evaders either, if you just push her to her special 2 properly, and so long as you can actually dex it just fine. And I am not just saying that. In the upcoming wars I will show you that you do not need a tactic champion or any protection against a special 1 or any of that, and well, more details to come with the coming war videos. As for the result, we did end up losing the war 55-30, which was the expected result, though we did die a little bit more than I thought, so hopefully we can tune that down a little bit going forward. Though that said, well, the result doesn't really matter anyways.